Cheyenne, and welcome back to EnGen TV. Engaged generation, youth, changing the world. Today we are going to be watching another episode of Jelly Did It, where Shanice, we're finally going to get to see her finish hair. So I hope you stay tuned.
Now we've made 4 nice parts to section out our areas that we are going to braid. By doing this method, it's easier and you don't have to think about, oh my gosh, have I ran out of space? You know everything is parted to how you would like it, and then you just start taking out the sections and preparing the area to braid. So what I like to do is just apply more gel around the roots of the hair so that all the hairs are going the same direction and they're in place. So after I'm done that, now I'm going to go in and braid. If you don't know how to cornrow, you just start off with 3 pieces in your fingers, and then you start to alternate and tuck them behind each other. I know it's easier said than done, but that's the gist. Oh, good. So now I'm going to take down another section that I parted out, pre-parted. Apply more gel to make sure that all of the hairs are going into the same braid where I want them to go. You're going to kind of mold it into the direction that you want it to go. So to start the braid again, we're going to grab 3 strands at the top. Here's the first strand, second strand in the middle, and 3rd strand. And I like to tuck them behind one another. And then as I'm braiding behind, I'm just adding more hair into the braid. So when you're cornrowing on somebody's scalp, whether it's their natural hair or you're adding in you do not want to pull their hair too tight. I know a lot of people say the tighter the better, etc. You know, it will last longer. But in reality, you're just pulling out the hair follicles on their head, causing breakage. So I know her scalp is red, but that's just her scalp being sensitive. But the braid is actually loose, right? So you don't want to go too hard. Make sure you let your clients know that, to let you know if they feel that it's really tight or tender in certain areas, because you'll have to redo that braid. You don't want to leave it in their head. So I do a lot of different types of patterns while braiding. Some of them are more simplistic and some of them are more intricate. I would say the more intricate ones, depending on if it's natural hair or extensions, it could take up to an hour and a half, up to 3 hours. And the simplistic ones usually tend to take around an hour to an hour and a half. But when you want the smaller designs, which involve smaller braids or more braids, that's where the time comes from. But, you know, it looks great in the end. So we're gonna take a break now. You're watching Jelly Did It.
We are people, and we love to get connected. We connect as families because of birth. We connect as friends because we click. And we connect as communities because we care. Seventh-day Adventists are people who connect in communities called congregations, which in turn connect to form conferences, who connect together to form unions, divisions, and the General Conference. Why do we connect? It starts with a connection to the Creator, who invites us on a spiritual journey. When we journey together, we can help each other along the way. This journey is a journey of a lifetime, and as we learn and grow, life becomes filled with meaning and purpose. Our greatest joy is in helping others along the way. Wherever you are on your journey, we believe that we have something to offer that can make your life more whole. So the next time you see a Seventh-day Adventist, remember, you're not looking at someone who stands alone. They are connected to a world church that has 18 million members, gathered in 13 divisions, comprised of 122 unions, formed by 600 conferences, serving in 140,000 congregations in 208 countries, who worship in 924 languages, and they all want to connect with you.
I recall as a student, we would begin our days with this, saying this pledge: by the grace of God, I commit myself to excellence in all I say and in all I do. And this is a pledge that has stuck with me. This is a pledge that I continue to use day by day. And it didn't mean as much to me as I was a student, because I think sometimes it's easy to become accustomed to things and take it for granted when you're in a particular environment for so long. But it's something that, in reflecting back to my years at Crawford, I'm reminded of the fact that as Christians, as students, as leaders, we are called to be committed to excellence. We are called to show forth the excellence of the God that we serve in everything that we do. So I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to be a student at Crawford, and I'm grateful for the way that Crawford has shaped and molded me and reminded me continually of the commitment to excellence.
Leadership.
Community.
Spiritual.
Safety.
Fabulous.
Love.
Christian.
Awesome.
You are watching EnGen TV. Engaged generation, youth transforming the world.
Hey, welcome back. We are going to start to do extension / single braids 101 or 102. So now what I'm doing is just parting out the back part of her hair. I'm going to show you the difference between single braid, a regular single braid, and a knotless braid. So right now there's a bit of a trend with the knotless braids, because after you do the knotless braids, they feel lightweight, they are easy to move around immediately after. If you've ever gotten your hair braided before, you know that it's a bit tight and tender the first 2 nights that you have to go to sleep with them. But with knotless braids, you're actually able to immediately move the hair around, put it in a ponytail, etc. So I'm just going to now show you the difference between the two, if some of you are confused, or if you've been hearing about them and you don't know what they look like. So when it comes down to knotless braids and regular braids, it's based on your preference of whether you would like your hair to be more full or to be kind of spaced out. So the look of knotless braids leaves your hair looking a bit open, but it gives you that lightweight versatility compared to regular braids. What I'm parting out right now are large sections. So I parted out an elastic to hold the hair to make it look slick, and then you'll see how I'm going to do the knotless braids. And I'm great at doing both of them for both styles, so either or, I can do it whatever you want. So I'm going to start off showing you about the knotless braid, and basically the difference of application or insertion of the fake hair is that the knotless braid, you need to put it in piece by piece, versus the regular braid, you're going to put it all in at the same time. So for knotless, you're going to do one part down the middle, I'm going to take one whole part and split this part in 2. So now I have 3 sections. And I'm going to simply braid her natural hair first. And so I have one braid, and then I'm going to start applying the hair or inserting the hair from underneath. So they call this method feeding in. So I did one. So to begin the knotless braid, you're going to do one part down the middle, so you have 2 sides. After you're done doing that, then you're going to divide it into 3. So you're going to use the section on the left and split that into 2. And then you have one whole section on the right and then 2 smaller ones on the left. So to begin, you're going to start by braiding her natural hair. So you're going to do one pass over with her natural hair, and then you're going to use your smaller pieces of hair and start feeding it in. So you're going to feed in one part and braid, Then you're going to feed in another piece under and braid. And you only feed it in until it looks like a natural braid and natural size, like it could be theirs. Don't be afraid to smooth out the hair along the way of her natural hair to make sure that it's going into the braid smoothly. You can also apply gel to keep her hair smooth and going along with the hair. Now when you get to the bottom of her natural hair, that's where you want to apply the most gel. And then what I'm going to do, you want to tuck it inside the braid. You want to apply the most gel at the end of her hair because that is the part that's most likely to stick out over time. So you want to make sure that it is solid and hidden within the hair, the braiding hair rather, so that it does not come out over time. And there you go. There you have a knotless braid. I'm able to move it up, down, and any direction that I please. So with this second braid, it's just going to be a regular single braid, and that means there's no feeding into the braid. It's just a one-time application of or insertion of the extensions. So what you do, you split your braiding hair in two. You cross one over the next into like an X shape, and then you flip one side, and so you make them bond together. So that's how you get your bond at the top. Everyone braids different, so I'm not sure how to explain this, but how I do it, I just kind of split them up in my hands. I hold one part in two, like so, and then the other part I just hold together. So for this one, I'm grabbing the whole section at once. If I miss some, I can tuck it in. And then I start to braid immediately. So whatever size that I want the braid, that is the amount of hair that I'm adding in at the beginning. Exactly. So for this knotted braid, which we just called a regular single braid before, you can see that there's an actual knot at the top, and that is what holds in the extensions. In comparison to the knotless braid, there is no knot at the top because you're feeding in the hair gradually. Exactly. Okay. So this knotted single braid takes about 2 to 3 days to fully loosen, and until you're able to swing it around like the knotless one. So if you can see, the knotted braid doesn't move as easily, and then when you move around the knotless braid, you can see that it can go all directions easily, way easier than the knotted braid. And that is why most people opt for the knotless braids right now because they don't want to have that downtime period of 2 to 3 days. So what we did for Shanice was we just added some braids to the side of her hair to kind of give her like that pullback effect. I asked her how she naturally wears her hair, and she said she naturally wears it out in her natural curls. So just to give it a little bit of a tweak and actually some uniformity, we just added some braids on the side, some protective braids, and curled up her hair with water, and we added some gel to define the curls. So she can leave these braids in for about a week and they'll be fine, a week and a half, and yeah, she won't have to worry about them. For maintenance of the style, all she'll have to do is tie her hair when she sleeps to keep the braids neat, and as she sleeps, it'll be best for her, since she has curly hair, to sleep on a satin pillowcase. So satin pillowcases, they retain moisture instead of sucking out the moisture of your hair. It actually retains the moisture, and so for her curls, that will do wonders for her. I enjoy being a stylist. I love it so much. I get to meet people from all different walks of life. I get to meet people who are super shy, who are talkative, who know a lot about their hair. I also come across people who just want to do my job and just talk over me. So yeah. I also came across this woman, and I just remember her as like the purple head woman, like a Smurf, because she came and as soon as she sat down, I made one part in her hair and her whole scalp was purple. And I couldn't believe it. I was asking her, I said, "Hey, did you know your scalp's purple?" And she was shocked. She was like, "What? Is it purple? Is it purple?" And we took pictures and I showed her, and she started freaking out even more. She was like, "Oh my goodness, I just dyed my hair, but I must have bought purple instead of black." So that will always stick with me, of the craziness that we go through and what we see. And yeah, we just have to keep moving and work through it. Thank you for watching Jelly Did It. My name is Angelica, and I'll see you next week.
Every episode of Jelly Did It was filmed on the location at Tiwa Salon and Aesthetics. Tiwa, where you can get your hairstyling, fashion, and more. Tiwa, located at Unit 371 Station Street in Ajax. Tiwa, Salon and Aesthetics. It's fire! Hello, my name is Cheyenne, and welcome back to EnGen TV. Engaged Generation, Youth Transforming the World. I hope you had a great time watching our episodes. We've been having a lot of tips about hair care, but I don't think my hair looks any different. Maybe I should try some of the tips. I hope you enjoyed a lot of our programs. Thank you. Bye.